welcome in. How's it going? It's Alex West here on BBC Radio Berkshire, bringing you the latest BBC introducing show. For the next hour, we're taking a tour around the amazing new music from our local area. We've got some brilliant new tunes on the way from Plains, Mishy Tree, Doughboy the Writer, but we're starting with the Mezz. BBC Radio Berkshire. It's Alex West here with your introducing show. That is part of their debut EP, Avoid the Panic, that released late last month. And I'm delighted to be joined by Charlie and Ben from the Mezz right now. Hey guys, how's it going?
How we doing, man?
Hello.
Woohoo!
Oh, this is going to be fun, I can tell already. It was always chaos with you guys. You're always brilliant live as well, always have so much energy. And I'm delighted to say that another track from that EP called All My Love is our track of the week this week. Congratulations.
Oh,
No way!
yes, boy.
Mum's going to be so proud of us.
100%. Big ups, guys, big ups. So this is your debut EP. It feels like it's been a long time coming. You've had some raucous tour dates, supporting bands all over the shop, played a couple of our BBC introducing nights as well. Big thanks for coming down to those. And now it feels like the records are starting to come too, and I'm really glad that this EP is out in the world. What was the process like for making it? Talk me through that.
Well, it's been a long time in the making, actually, because we recorded it last August. So it was meant to come out sort of a bit earlier in the year. It was meant to come out January time. And it's sort of a collection of songs that were that were written throughout lockdown and just after it, and about being a kid growing up in, you know, in the sort of the way the world is now. It's very strange, and there's a lot of people our age who are turning into young adults, and like no one really has a clue what's going on. So it's kind of like, it's kind of a message to all of them written, you know, written about that stuff. And like obviously it got pushed back because of the tour dates that we got put on, because obviously after lockdown everything just kind of added up into one thing, because everything got rescheduled and then pushed back and then pushed back more. So then out of nowhere we was too busy to do anything, and we didn't really have time to get it all going, because obviously we're still independent. So yeah, it's been crazy times, but it's good that it's out, you know, we can like show people.
It's a massive throwback, really, but because it was a massive collection of expression. I like to say it was like for angsty young adults with so much emotion like built up in all of us. And for a year later, for these songs to finally be out, like we've all moved on so much since COVID. I think like as a human race, to have these songs coming out, but for us, absolutely listening to them, it kind of throws it back and. Kind of makes me feel a bit weird, but a good weird, and I'm really glad that people can finally kind of relate and express themselves by listening to these tunes.
For sure, yeah. So the vibe when you were making them might not be the vibe you're at now, but if you had to encapsulate what the Mezz is about in a few words, what would you say?
Dude, energy, bopping, dancing, moshing, having fun, getting out there, enjoying yourself.
Perfect, really. I don't know if I could add to that, to be honest. As long as everyone's in a good place and everyone's having fun, that's all that matters to us, you know.
For sure, yeah. So we just played Stars, which is one of the tracks from your EP. Is there a message behind that song? What's the story behind that tune?
Stars is it's sort of a classic, written from the point of a teenager kind of love tune, but it's like sort of it's written in the sense of not really understanding anything about love. You know, it's like when you're a kid and you first think, oh, I'm in love with someone and this and that. And but everything else is a massive problem in your own mind. So it's basically written around that kind of idea of overthinking everything, but trying to be part of society and not really knowing it. So it's a big mixture of things.
What I really like about the Mezz actually in general as a project is that you guys seem to kind of, you've got this like really youthful energy and this almost like very wholesome kind of naivety that you almost express yourself. You're very self-aware of that in your songs. You've spoken about that just now as well, about how you're writing songs from a perspective of not really knowing much about the world sometimes, or having that kind of like still learning things, that process is ongoing. And would you describe that's where you probably are as a band as well?
Yeah, because I also think, like, even if you don't play music, people aren't stupid, and they can tell when someone's faking stuff. And I think, like, you know, we can't write songs about having loads of money and being like mega rock stars now, because we're not, you know. So we can't really just, I don't know, me as like a writer, I can't put that into a song knowing that it's not true. So I think, and I think the more open you are about things, the more people respect it as well, because people can relate to that. Because realistically, no one has a clue what's going on in the world. I think everyone's just trying to get by, especially like the way things are at the minute.
For sure.
But, you know, it's a lot better for people to listen to that and relate to it. And you can express yourself more by not knowing a lot.
Like when I look back to being 16 and drumming and kind of like starting out, but still going for it, I was like, oh, by the time I'm 20, 21, I'm going to know everything and like everything like that. And if I look back to my 16-year-old self, I'd just say, Charlie, mate, you still know nothing. You've just made more mistakes. Yeah. And, I think that's what the Mezz are kind of like doing at the moment, is making a ton of mistakes, but trying to learn as much as we can on the way. But we're all winging it, aren't we, Alex?
Yeah, no, I'd 100% agree with that. I think it's one of those things that, you know, when you're 18, you think you have all the knowledge in the world, and then you look back in a few years and you realise you're a baby. And I think, you know, you do that throughout your 20s, probably throughout your life. I don't know that yet, but I would assume so if it keeps going like it has.
Your old age, Alex.
I'm like, what, 2 years older than you? Anyway, so The Void the Panic is the name of the EP, and that kind of fits with this theme, really, I suppose, of like kind of anxiety about getting out into the world, putting yourself out there. And I suppose it's almost like a kind of a generational message, really, with, I don't know, our age group. I feel like as we've grown up, there has been probably like maybe more anxiety in general around like socializing, that kind of thing. We're a generation that spends a lot of time online as well.
I think as well we're sort of prone to like we self-sabotage more than people admit, I think, as well, you know. I think like a lot of problems come from you just overthinking things, hence the name Avoid the Panic. Sometimes if you just take yourself out of that mindset, you can, like, life gets a lot easier, you know, because you don't have to worry about too many things. Because I definitely found myself worrying about things that aren't worries. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's like, so when you take that out, you can kind of just get on with it, and you get a lot happier in yourself.
And that's one of the great things about the EP. It does feel like a bit of a let your hair down moment. Charlie, as well, I know this EP has come at a really weird time for you because you've actually been quite ill over the past couple of weeks, and had to take some time out of gigging, which must have been a really tough experience for you.
Yeah, definitely. I think Avoid the Panic has been a big part of my life in the sense the lyric and the EP name and my lifestyle at the moment. I was recently diagnosed with bowel cancer, which at 21 years old you never kind of like expect. Yeah. But when you walk into the hospital and Superman flies through the window, you kind of know something's wrong. Luckily I've just been in for surgery about a week ago. I got out of the hospital yesterday. Everything went okay, and they managed to remove everything. But I've basically we had our last gig about 3-4 weeks ago now, and we won't be back on stage until January. So it's going to be a lot of like recovery and just getting up and better. But it's a very weird time, but also it's really nice to know, obviously, Alex, with the Berkshire music scene that you've helped kind of like nurture and create. I've had so much support there, lots of friends and family and all the fans as well. It's been really, really nice. So if anyone else is kind of like going through anything like that, please feel free to like message the Mezz page or message me, because I know it's a scary time, but it's never everything, you know. Like, there's so much more to life than just worrying, so just avoid the panic, man. Like,
it is so great to hear you well, Charlie, and back being your usual chaotic self on this show. So thanks so much for joining me, man.
Cheers, man. Thank you for having us.
And it must be great to be able to look forward to get back out there gigging as well in January in the new year. You've got some dates lined up for then too?
Yes,
yeah, dude,
absolutely.
It's gonna be great.
Don't say too much, but we've got some very exciting things coming up. Yeah.
Exciting times. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing the Mezz live again. Our track of the week this week is a track called All My Love. Do you want to tell us a bit about it?
All My Love. To be honest, it's kind of a follow-up to Stars, really. It's sort of like that final kind of... Stars is quite cryptic. All My Love is like the end of the EP. It's kind of letting that emotion burst out. It's, you know, it's the last song on the EP. It is definitely about when you kind of reach that limit, and sometimes you just got to have a cry, or you just got to let emotions out, and it is sort of that song, you know. It is the kind of cry at the end of everything building up. You just let yourself be, like, let all these emotions out. You can be free, and you just kind of, you're at peace after that, because you've let this thing out, and then you get a time to relax again. And it is that sort of song, you know. You can hear it, how it builds, and it will hit you right in the face.
For sure. Thanks so much, guys, for coming on the show. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you for having us, man.
Thank you for having us, man.
And here is our track of the week then, from the Mezz. This is All My Love on BBC Radio Berkshire.
If I loved you a little less when you was around, would that change anything? And if you knew how much you threw me to the ground, would you not care at all? Let's wrap it around my head, fill my lungs with cigarettes. 'Cause no one knows how much I care. So take my hand now, take my hand now, 'cause you know what you're doing. Yeah, you know what you're doing. Yeah, you're setting me alight now with all my love. Yeah, you're setting me alight now. We want it all. You show the phone is your own. Now 'Cause I've been wandering around looking for you, but don't find anything. No, there's nothing else that I can really do, but I still try and call. I need some time with you. Help me get my feelings through, 'cause I'm just living off a fantasy. Yes, I'm just living off a fantasy. 'Cause you know what you're doing. You know what you're doing. You save me alive now with all my love. Yeah, you save me alive now. We won't let up. You show the fault is your own. The sin left the fools on your throne. It's darling, you know. You save me alive now. You're setting me alight now with all my love. You're setting me alight now. You save me alight now with all my love. Yeah, you save me alight now. We won't let up. You show the fault is your own. The sin left the fools on your throne. Darling, you know. You save me alive now.
The Mezz and All My Love on BBC Radio Berkshire. That is our track of the week this week. And I told you it was a packed out introducing show, didn't I? So